In this book, of course, you have many pictures to show her growing up. And as you're reading, she was a comic book. So as you're reading the story of Jenna and about how she pulled her braces out so that she'd look older, pictures of her and her mom. She has little philosophies here about her 10 commandments towards, again, like I said, Jenna was born and raised in Las Vegas. You read more about it in the book. And you see the different pictures of her transformation from a little girl with braces and pulling those braces out to become a dancer. In fact, many of the clubs that I go to in Las Vegas, they argue over whether Jenna worked at their club. Sometimes you even have two managers side by side, one saying she started here and the other one saying no, she never worked here, and they get into big arguments about, because having said that Jenna danced at their club could bring more customers in. Prologue. She was young, beautiful, and damned. Her name was Vanessa, and she was dead. Vanessa was thin, tan, and graceful, with perfect boobs, a broad, muscular back, and wire straight blonde hair, cut in bangs that graced her eyebrows. When she walked in the Crazy Horse, too, for the first day of work, she instantly attracted customers. Oh, on that note, Crazy Horse 2 is reopening again. As I write these words, it's the summer of 2013. There's young Jenna, Chapter 1. And there's been a lot of announcements and news about how Crazy Horse 2 is reopening its doors. Daddy and me in Panama City, Florida when I was 4. So these books are easy for me to put together. I've been putting them together for almost 30 years now. And my father never told me much about my mother, Chapter 4. My father never told me much about my mother. I think it was his way of trying to protect me from being traumatized by her loss. He figured the less I knew about her, the less I had to miss. But his silence had the opposite effect. The less I knew about her, the more I thought about her. My only memories of my mother were of her being sick and of being kept away from her room because she had no hair. Apart from photos, I can't remember what she looked like, but I remember that she sounded like, as I lay in my bed at night, I could hear her screaming in pain from her room. The night she died exists only in snippets in my head. The house was dark and my father was outside. I remember seeing the ambulance lights and sitting in the darkness in my brother's room. He was very quiet. He knew what was going on. I didn't, but I was crying for some reason. Vegas showgirl. One of the few things my father told me about my mother when I grew older was that she had worked as a Vegas showgirl. He was in the audience at one of her shows and had fallen in love with her as soon as he set eyes on her. In the few pictures I have of my mom, she looks so beautiful, fragile, and sophisticated, like a swinging London model. So the early pictures. So Jenna took these pictures and took her story and turned it into a book.